Hey everybody, welcome to Stay Fishy Friday, the live stream. I'm here, your favorite host, your only host. Gotta be your favorite if I'm the only one, right? I don't know what happened to Jerry. I don't know what happened to Josh. They're out there doing their thing. I'm in here doing the live stream. So, welcome everybody. Okay, Josh was here. He was selling my car, the Toyota. You guys remember that? Well, we sold it today, and it sold for 10 grand. Now, Jerry is here. I think there's somebody here doing a tour or dropping off fish, because I went to call him and he didn't answer, so he's busy, like probably dealing with fish. So I had to start the live stream. I couldn't wait no longer. Both of them basically bailed on me. But you know, I'm like old faithful. I'm here for you guys. Remember we were joking last week or the week before, I think it was, about how many mods we got, and now we've got 2 mods here, and one of them left. There's only 1 mod here right now, and that's Raheem. We've got 1 mod out of the 20 that are usually here. So, you know, they're not here. There's no Lori Kish. There's no Sue Ann or her husband. I mean, our normal mods are not here. Marie's not here. I mean, there's a bunch of them, and no one's here. There's 1 mod, and that's Raheem. Somebody says, Dominic says that the vocals are off. The voice is off? Is it too quiet? Is it too loud? What's going on? All right, let me reset it then. You go to here. Okay, go to the Yeti mic. Go to the properties of it. Logitech Brio. Actually, let me change it. Okay, how's that? Is that any better? Okay, everybody's saying much better. Cool. All I did was turn off the mic, set it to another mic, and then turn it back to this mic and turn it back on. Okay. Thank you, Tyler. Robbie Wilson says respiratory fins. That's not respiratory fins. They have 2 new tanks. Yes, we've known this for a long time. They sold their old tank in pieces. We really wanted that tank. We didn't end up with it. Someone else paid 40 grand for it. We can't afford that. Then they bought these new tanks and they got delivered, and they're amazing. I mean, I cannot compete with this company at all no more. They're 40 foot long by 10 foot wide, acrylic tank. For one, I don't even have a room for it. 2, I can't afford it. They paid upwards of $400,000 for those 2 tanks. There's no way I could afford that. I'm just a simple homebody with a hobby out back. That's it. So, you know, I can't compete with businesses, public aquariums, any of that. Oh, AZ's here. What's up, AZ? Now we got 2 mods here. I still love that respiratory fins. That's hilarious. Depth charge is here too. Everyone, sorry, I just got home from work. That's all right. You can all be late. It's okay. Sugar Bear says, where's Jerry? It's what I'd like to know. Hi, Sue Ann. Okay, so now we got 3 moderators out of the 25 that we have. That's funny. We had too many, and now we don't have enough. All right, Tyler Kerr says, "What's up, Big Rich?" Oh, hang on. How you been doing? Been so excited for tonight. I love Fishy Friday. It's my favorite day of the week. So thank you. Please keep doing them. It's amazing to wind down with. Well, that's awesome. And, you know, I love hanging out with you guys. This is my only time away. So, you know, this is like me going to the bar. This is like me hanging out with my friends. Me sitting there with a beer, sitting around the garage with a bunch of guys. You know, that's you're my crowd now. That's what I have. I love it. Shauna says we're up to 4 mods now. Ooh. Now we can keep you people in line. All right, so let me get you up to par on what's going on. Let's make the drinking word mods because there are none. Let me see what else. Got the Tracy update coming. Oh, Josh is going to stop in because he was here. Actually, a dealership bought our car. We had one couple show up, and they're like, there's a ding here and that and there. And, you know, they wanted to offer $8,000 for it. But if you look up Toyota Corolla 2016, they start off at $10,000 and go up to like $15,000. But none of them are under $100,000, what do you call it? Miles on it, you know? And mine only has 56,000 miles. So it should be more expensive than any one that's out there. But I put it up for $10,000. And these people come by and they're like, well, we'll give you 8.5. And we're like, no. Well, it's got a ding over here. That's okay, you know? You're basically buying a brand new Toyota. It's only got 56,000 miles on it. And Dolmex has 110K miles. I don't know what that means, but no, my car has 56,000 miles on it. The title says 50,000, and there's 6,000 miles on it since that title. So, anyways, so they left. And the next guy that showed up said he was a manager for a Toyota dealership. And we're like, okay, you know, what do you think? And he goes, oh, well, these little dings right here, there's 3 of them. We can get out with the dent wizards, you know, and they can just pull them right out, no problem. So that was not a big deal for him. The engine compartment was detailed and clean. The trunk was clean. The interior was clean. And he took it for a ride around the block, and he offered, you know, the $10,000. And boom, Josh took it. So now he's up at the license bureau right now, or wherever they go, you know, for a dealership. It might be at his dealership. Transfer the title over to him. And is Rich drunk? No. This night just started. I'll explain that in a second. So Josh is dealing with that right now. And then we got the check for the car. So now I bought my son's 4-wheeler, which I gave him in the first place. It was a Grizzly 700 that I bought brand new out of a dealership. And when I got my new 4-wheeler, when me and Tracy decided, that's it, we're not doing no more work. This summer is going to be the summer of fun. We're going riding. I bought the brand new 2020 Can-Am 1000. And then I gave Josh my 700. Well, he wants something. He wants a Can-Am too, a nice 1000. So he sold me the Grizzly back for $2,500. And I'm like, you know what? At this point, I'll give you the $2,500. You could have sold it for more, but you get it back when I'm gone anyway, so it doesn't matter. So now, you know, I've got 2 4-wheelers. I can go. So me and Reaper are going riding. We're going out. You know, Skylar's, you know, said she wanted to go. So me and Skylar are going out riding. Every Saturday, I've got a nurse for 12 hours. I can go now. So that's what we're going to be doing this summer is going 4-wheeling. Now, as far as people asking me if I'm drunk, no. Tuesday night, I work 16 hours. And then Wednesday morning, I get to sleep from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. You'd think that's 4 hours. But do you lay down at 8 o'clock and fall asleep at 8 o'clock? No. It's usually about 8:30 I fall asleep. And then I get up at 11:55. So I get 3.5 hours sleep. And then I'm up for another 16 hours watching Tracy plus community service from noon to 3. So, well, community service is here from noon till 6, but from noon to 3, I'm outside working with them. From 3 to 6, I've got a list of things that they can do that I can send them to do. You know, take the garbage out, take the boards back to the burn pile, things that I pre-listed for them. So, you know, and then my nurse called off Thursday night. So I had to work another 16 hours. Now, mind you, I got 3.5 hours sleep on Wednesday morning before my next 16-hour shift. And then Wednesday, I did the 16-hour shift. And Herman Hill says, have you ever rode quads in Wellsville? Yes, I did. I broke my hip there. It's a great place. But hang on. Let me finish this. So then my nurse calls, and then Thursday, I'm working my 16-hour shift now because the nurse called off. And then my night nurse called off. So I didn't get no sleep. I got 2 hours sleep from like 8:30 until 10:30 because Josh was here working on the car because he's got, people coming to look at it. So my front doorbell was going off, bing, 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 right? My phone's right next to me. So I didn't get no sleep. So I got 3.5 hours the first night, 3.5 hours second night, and then 2 hours sleep the third night, working 16-hour shifts for the last 3 days. So, I'm tired as shit. And, I just feel drained. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I can't do it no more, but I know I'm going to keep going. Don't worry about that. It just I'm tired. I don't know. It just that's how I am. I'm slap happy, I guess. Tired as shit, you could say. I don't know. I just know I don't get enough sleep, and my nurses call off and they kill me because each nurse only works 32 hours, and then they call off a night or two a week, and it's killing me because I'm working 80 hours, and then I got to fill in their 8 or 12-hour shifts. Oh, it's killing me. Okay, there's some ridiculous questions being asked here. Let me answer them real quick. Andy says, I asked Rich loads of times, have you ever had any zanderfish? I don't know what a zanderfish is. Sorry, never had one that I know of. GR4S, grasshopper. Rich, can I adopt the emperor cichlid and jowl catfish? Sure, if you want to give me a few grand, but I'm not selling them. I'm not getting rid of them. I don't want to adopt them out. I like them. They're one of my favorites. We don't have an emperor cichlid. We have never had one, and now I want to see it grow to its full size and go into the pond. So yeah, no amount of money is really going to take it away from me. Prince Vino with the best comment of the night so far. What's up, buddy? No worries, Rich. I'm a team player. I'll get drunk enough for the both of us. That's a team player right there. That's a good friend. Thank you. That's awesome. Loren says Big Rich is sleep drunk, like we say in the Netherlands. Could be, yeah. You know what? I just feel like my eyes keep watering and I keep moving them away, and it just, I don't know. I'm tired as shit. Don't feel like I can do anything, and I have to keep pushing myself. Like I wasn't even going to do the live stream tonight, but I can't let you guys down. Raheem, fuck you. Oh, so I'm sorry. My bad. Raheem says, today I slept 8 hours. Oh my goodness. Oh, my eyes are so watering. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm run down. I'm tired. It jumped on me. Okay. Rich has been doing lack of sleep for years now. I wish that could change. You know what? I keep telling people that I've been doing this lack of sleep thing for almost 5 years now, and it's catching up to me. And it's getting easier to fall asleep, but I got to keep pushing myself to stay up. I fell asleep one time with Tracy, and when I was watching her, and she got a big red mark, on her side from being over onto a wire, and I couldn't forgive myself. So now I have to stay awake, and when the nurses get here, I go right in and go to sleep. Um, it's not as bad as you guys think. I watch Tracy from my bedroom because I have a camera on the room, and then I have a camera on her monitor, and I can listen and hear if the monitors go off, and I can see the room. Like if Tracy coughs into like a fetal position and her head's hanging off the side of the rail, I can see that. So my body actually gets rest. My mind just don't. I don't get no REM sleep and healing, great good sleep. My body gets rest though, so I'm kind of like in a sleep state, a euphoric state all the time. I don't know. It's weird. Hopefully the nurses stay on track for the next couple of days and I can catch up, because Saturday and Sunday I got a nurse for 12 hours each day, and I got a night nurse for each day. So I only got to fill in 3 hours on Sunday and 1 hour on Saturday. So if I can do that, I can catch up on my sleep, and I don't need to be out there working. I can catch up on my sleep. But man, have you seen all the work we got done around here lately? I've been hitting it up. Josh has been, nailing it with the moving of the tanks and stuff. But the under the carport, that's been me and my community service guys. We've been just hitting it daily, and we're getting it done. And if you guys seen today's video, it's amazing. All the magnets are holding that tarp down to where it used to blow out all the time, where the boat was. And it's so much nicer. And we got everything into tubs. It's so much nicer. I mean, Josh is going to keep trying to put the bigger tanks up for sale, and the littler tanks will give away. And he's got some of the medium tanks, like the, 38-gallon boat fronts at $1 a gallon, and like the 55s at $1 a gallon. I think a couple of 75s at $1 a gallon. And, this money goes to help the rescue. So, yeah, it is what they say, when you have the PetSmart $1 a gallon sale, but they don't sell anything over a 30-gallon for $1 a gallon. You try and buy a 55, that's $55. No, it ain't. That's $109. It's more than $2. It's about $2 a gallon. So, the difference is when you buy a tank here, if you need a filter, we give it to you. If you need a heater, we give it to you. We try and find anything you need out of our spare piles and give it to you. So, yeah, you're buying the tank for, let's say, 3/4 of what it costs in the store, but you're getting all the accessories free. Any of the rocks we got, you can have. Any of the decorations you can have. I mean, everybody leaves here happy. Trust me. One guy's like, oh, so you sell it at $1 a gallon. That's what the store sells them for. No, they stopped selling $1 a gallon at 30 gallons. You can buy a 10-gallon at $1 a gallon. Hell, we'll give that to you for, free. It's just, I don't know. Let me read some more. Shonda says you need to take a Friday off and rest up. Your health is important. That's all right. Grasshopper says, Andy, a zander is not like a tigerfish. It's like a walleye. Okay, still don't know what it is. Tyler says, you're doing amazing, Rich. Keep it up. You're amazing, dude. Don't forget that. Cheers, brother. You have all your fishy family behind you. We're here for you to keep it up. Thank you. And Grasshopper says, okay, Rich. Depth charge comes into the mods. Drink up, guys. Jerry! Jay and Barb, the fish keeper, says, hello, Rich. Well, hello, Jay and Barb. Let me see if I can get a hold of Jerry. Raheem says, mods, guys, drink up. Grasshopper says, what kind of catfish or eyeballs do you have up for adoption?
Hey, you calling me while you're on the line?
Yeah, I'm on live stream. Everyone's wondering where you're at.
I got people out here with fish. They're picking up some stingrays. And
well, tell them to go home. Tell them we're on the live stream. That's right. All right, I'll handle it till you get in here.
All right. Well, Josh should be here. We just took some koi in, and I came out to help him.
All right, the guy show up for the stingrays?
Yeah, that's what
okay, them were our buddy stingrays. We sold for him. So, all right, I'll see you when you get in here.
Yeah.
All right, bye. Yeah, Jerry said, "Fuck you guys." I'm kidding. Off grid 80. Are you serious? It says, "Where's Jerry? This live stream isn't as good without him." You know what? You don't have to watch off stream. It's okay. I was doing this long before Jerry, and I'll do it long after Jerry. Harley says you're lucky to find $1 a gallon resale lately. Yeah, they don't do large gallon resales, sales at $1 a gallon. Ashley Smith says my tank setup base and all the fixings was around $600 just for a 65 gallon. PetSmart screwed me. Well, that's where they get you. They put you out there for $1 a gallon, and you come in and you buy the cheaper tank, and that 65 gallon wasn't $65. That was probably $130. And then they upsell you all the stuff you need to go with it. So that's where we give you stuff because we have extra stuff. So Grasshopper says 600 is diabolical. Yes. Sue Ann says the list for adoptions are listed on their Facebook page. Yes, and also I'm not in control of that because Josh handles that part now. So anybody that calls here and asks me what do we have for to get rid of or rehome, I don't know. You have to text Josh because we both used to handle it, and then I was giving out, like, say you buy this for $20, I'll give you the 8-inch tinfoil bar free. And then Josh comes in and says, I had a guy coming by and buying that tinfoil bar for $20. Why did you give it away? So it caused problems between us. So I gave everything to Josh. He's handling all that. So it's on the OFR page, the business page, which is just Ohio Fish Rescue. The OFR page with the numbers after it, the 501c3, that's the page where we help people and they can upload pictures and all that kind of stuff. So Harley Gem says paid $100 for a 95 tall with an FX filter, got a free 55, a free 25 with stand, and free 10 gallon here. Was that at Ohio Fish Rescue, Harley? Oh, it jumped on me. Fish Fan Link says help our community grow. Like this video and hit subscribe. Oh, it jumped again. Hang on. Gotta go back up to Tyler. You're too rich. You're an amazing host. Everyone that don't like it, don't watch. That's simple. Well, there you go. Now you heard it. Sue Ann says, Harley, you got a hell of a deal. Sue Ann, every time you come here, you guys buy a couple things and we give you like tubs full of stuff to take home. Simon Shear says, Rich, I see the bikes on your last vid, but that SS is my kind of car. Well, you know what? I built that to be some next level, situation. It's got more horsepower than all of my race car buddies. And I don't race it. It's my grocery getter. It's an adult sit and spin. It from light to light, it'll just light up them tires. It's fun, I built it that way. I did not want to ruin the body and cut it up and tub it out and put a full frame, 2-frame chassis in there and all that stuff because there's so many of them that are already ruined. That body is factory original, and I can swap it right back and keep my, let's say I got 30 grand in the motor, probably $4 grand in the tranny, $2 grand in the rear end. So $36,000 drivetrain, I can buy a brand new 454 big block from GM for like $8,000. I have 5 Muncie trannies in the back. 2 of them work, 4 of them are blown. But out of the 2, I can put a 4-speed in there, and then I can put a 12-bolt rear end in there for probably $1,000. So we're talking $9,000. I can take out my whole drivetrain out of that car with all 2,200 horsepower and sell the car for the same amount of money with that $9,000 drivetrain in there. And people will love it much more. You know, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. You know, with the 454 brand spanking new with a warranty, a 12-bolt posi rear end. You know, smaller tires, and you know, it'll still bark all 4 gears. I guarantee it. You might not spin in fourth, but you'll definitely bark fourth. So I mean, I built that car as a showpiece and not as a track car. You know, I get made fun of by a lot of race car guys. That car ain't going nowhere. Yeah, but it looks prettier than yours. It's got more horsepower than yours. But you know what? At a light, when you pull up next to me and I'm sitting there, it's got that surge. And then you look at me and you rev your little Mustang or whatever, Camaro. And I sit there and I just put it in first and I go, whoa! And let go. The ass end lifts up like 3 inches because the tires get from wide to tall and skinny. And the smoke billows out. And I move like 6 inches forward and I let off. Man, there ain't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And then they're all like, oh my God, it's badass. And, you know, they love it. And the next best thing I do is on the highway at 55 miles an hour because I don't want to wring out my motor. So I go, you know, I've got the reverse pattern valve train. First, second, third, right? So when you're getting on it, you pull it back, you automatically shift. Well, I go to third and I pop it up and I get going. I'm like, whoa. I get up to like, I don't know, 75 and I put it neutral and I coast for like a mile. Put it back into drive, coast for like a mile. And, you know, I get these kids coming up next to me in their daddy's Mustangs or something, and they're revving their motors and stuff, and I'm just idling on the highway. And I look at them at the same time. I put it into second, punch it, the ass end breaks loose, lifts up like 3 inches, gets a little sideways. I look at them. I'm coming out in front of their car. I hit third gear, get sideways out in front of their car, smoke billowing everywhere, and I let off. Now, I just dumped it past you and smoking, and you know, I mean, come on, who wouldn't be impressed? You know, that's some fun shit. So I built it for a different purpose. Yeah, my race car buddies can make fun of me, but you know what I say? Screw them, because this is much more fun. I don't have to go to the track. I don't have to do any of this stuff. I don't have to, you know, and the car's not tore up. The car's beautiful. Enough about the car. Let's move on. Grasshopper says, I got a multiple 55s for 50 a piece. And that's a decent price. At a store by my house, and a 180 for $50 on OfferUp. Great deal. And a 300 stock tank for $230. I've got 3 of them. I'll give you for $100 a piece right now. Ashley Smith says, I think the tank and standalone was around $250. See? The rest was the filter, the pump, the temperature, the decor, and the sand. Yep. That's what they upsell you. Athro 2022 says, thank you for your advice 2 weeks ago with the adding my arapaima to my huge pond. Done the separation of the pond for a week. Now he's in with the rest and no aggression off. That's awesome. Somebody listened to me. I've been through it. I can tell you. And you listened. Thank you. And that fish lived. Look at that's I love it when things work out. You know, a lot of people take your advice and then they go do whatever they feel like is best. You know what I'm saying? And people don't listen all the time. I always get people don't listen. You listened, and that worked out great for everybody. And the fish lived. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, no. Now the show goes downhill. Jerry's here. Aggressive Fish Lover says, I'm running late. Can you ask Jerry to sit up? Because I can't see him.
Okay, I'm finally sitting up.
There you go.
Can you see me now?
Randall Vitt says, would love to see more of your garage. Wow, okay. Well, I just sold the car outside. I'm working on Skylar's four-wheeler. I got it running today and able to give it throttle. So that should be out of here. I can start working on my blue Harley. I was going to get that one out and get it up and running and put it up for sale. Because I mean, let's face it, I don't ride them no more. And, you know, I don't know. Probably only, I can only probably get like $6,000 out of it. But it's beautiful. It's blue, all chrome swing arm, chrome, you know, this, chrome that. And then I've got a Bluetooth stereo system on it. I've got LED lighting all over it and, you know, remote control and all that stuff. I mean, it's a beautiful bike. But it just kills me that the prices have gone down so much that I can only probably get $6,000 out of it. But we're putting it up for sale. You guys remember Richie's bike from 2 weeks ago? He's going to sell me that because he wants a bagger with a big tire bagger so that his old lady can ride on the back. On the back of his bike is my kind of bike, but on the back is what they call a little, I hate to say it. All right, I'm just going to say it, a pussy pad. It's made for somebody to sit there, but it's definitely not comfortable. It's not a whole seat with armrests like, you know, a bagger would be. So that's what he wants for him and his old lady. So I'm going to buy his bike, and it's going to replace, because I wouldn't sell my blue Harley. I love that bike. And it's my ape hangers. I sit back like this. I got stereo on it, chrome everywhere. It's great. I have no problems with it. I love that bike. I like Richie's bike more. So he's going to sell that one to me. I'm going to go ahead and sell my bike and come up with the money to pay for his bike. And he's going to get a nice big front big wheel bagger for him and his old lady. Okay, we have 164 yet. Usually we wait till 200 people for Tracy, but it is 6:30. Huh. I'm in a dilemma. Dilemma access. So you have 3 bikes. No, I'm selling off the blue Harley, and I'm keeping the Super Glide, and then Richie's selling me his bike, so I'll still have 2 bikes. Which I don't need the Super Glide. I could sell it off too. It's just that Tracy loved that bike because it's like a Cadillac compared to my, you know, I call my blue bike the you know, bar to bar bike. It's loud, it's rude, it's crude, and it's got a little tiny seat on the back, so it wasn't comfortable for her.
The street bike and the cruiser.
Yeah, well, the bar bike and the family bike. Because cruisers have been split up now. Have you seen the big wheel Harleys now? They got like a 30-inch front tire.
Oh, yeah.
And the bags that go down on air ride.
Yeah.
That set it on the ground, and then when they push the air ride up, the bags extend way back farther.
Yeah.
Stereo systems, back seat, huge, you know, front fairing and all that. They're beautiful.
Yeah. Some of the vets I rode with when I was in Wisconsin, they got those parade bikes with the training wheels and everything. I haven't seriously rode anything since 64.
Oh shit! Well, I got you beat. It's been 5 years ago I was riding my Harley.
No,
Ever since Tracy went down, I haven't rode anything.
I was. Oh, God.
Simon Shears says, Rich, I see that your koi pond was spawning in the main pond. How do you deal with such spikes? Do you do aeration or just leave it? No, our filtration is good enough. We just leave it. It may spike a little bit, you know, maybe 3 days of ammonia, but it goes right back down. And we've never had a problem. It's been 4 years now at that pond.
I haven't.
Yeah. Ken Cummings says, everyone give thumbs up. Crazy Cichlid says, Rich, Rod's tanks came today. Were amazing. Did you see? Yes, we saw them. We cannot compete with them. They are a business. They paid over $400,000 for those 2 tanks. I cannot compete. I'm just some guy with some tanks in his backyard, you know. I cannot compete. Grasshopper says, Rich, do you ever think you will own a Wells catfish, a Mekong giant, or a snakehead? I hope that one day you all be the ones who know any of these out of the States. And you know what? We had a Wells cat. We had a couple of them, but they became illegal, and we had to find them homes. The Mekong giant cat, I've never had. I would love to. Or a snakehead. They're both highly illegal. I can keep each one for up to 6 months as long as I call the, what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank right now. I got their names written down. Yeah, Division of Wildlife, and let them know. But see, they're more for natural fish near us, like that Department of Agriculture. They're the ones that are like, onto the thing about these are illegal. You can't have them. So I got to call them both and find out what I need to have. They'll give me a list of what places near me have a permit, and then I can go ahead and give them in. And I don't have to turn in the people that turned them into us. Yeah. So if you want to donate your fish that are illegal, that's fine. We don't have to turn in your name or nothing like that. You can turn it in anonymously, and then we can find a place for it at a place that has a permit. Because those permits are like $25,000 a year, and I can't afford that.
I wish they'd tell us to just keep a snakehead. I'd like to have one here to tell people, yeah, that is a snakehead. That's what you look out for. We got a super chat here.
Yeah, but from who? I just see S.
Suan.
Is it Suan?
Yeah.
It just says S, 3 dots right there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
All right, Suan says $10. Don't forget to hit that.
We're supposed to just know it's
like button and hashtag Team Tracy. Oh, I love you, Suan. I love that whole hashtag Team Tracy thing. See how far it jumped? Oh, there it goes.
I know.
The Harley Road Glide, I think. What's next after the GSXR? Well, I have a Super Glide, and then I have the 99 Softail that has 2 shocks under the frame, and it's a Softail, but the whole rear swing arm is chrome, and the speakers are chrome and all that. Josh is wanting to sell his GSXR for the first time since he's owned it, and now it's a 2007 GSXR 1000, but he maybe puts 100 miles a year on it, and he's had it for many years. And the bike's badass. Fish Family Link says, thank you, Suan, for the $10. Well, thank you, Suan. Are you guys getting the Armadas back at some point? Yes, we are.
Whenever possible.
Yes, whenever possible. Well, a lot of the fish that we've given out to people do get too big, and we get them back later, so.
Yeah, it's been known to happen, but.
Been known to happen a lot. That's why Josh was like, Rod's selling, arapaima for $140 again. And he's got like 300 of them. I'm like, that just means next year we'll be taking in a lot of 3-footers. Yeah. All right. Well, we've got 168 people, and it's going on 6:40. Let's go ahead and do the Tracy update. Put down the time 6:40 for the Tracy update. I'm going to let this go here. I'm going to come back over to here. And let's go with the Tracy slideshow. There she is. There's my little worker. Look at her inside that tank. That's that 750 that we got the Oh, look at that face on her. She, when we lost that red tail, she was just grossed out. She didn't want to hold it. I'm like, just hold it still. She is. Okay, so this week here, Tracy, we've had a couple of nurses call off a couple of shifts. I've had to take over, and it's been grueling, but I don't have a backup. So, I mean, I just got to do what you got to do. Look at her. Little mighty Mite with her arms up right there. He ain't even looking. She's just that whole attitude of her, you know. You missed it now. There's Josh's graduation. So, anyways, I've been taking care of her, and everything's been fine, and she's doing good. I did this one thing though. You know, I've been forever trying to get her to talk, and you know, look at me and all this other stuff. But I did this thing yesterday, and I you know, I can grab her hand and she'll squeeze onto my hand and she'll hold it. But can I get her to let go? Can I get her to hold it longer? So I rubbed her hand, I held her hand, and you know, she got a good grip. And then I let go of her hand. I'm like, okay, Tracy, it's time to let go now, honey. You grab my hand, good deal. It's time to let go. And she immediately went to letting go. And when she was holding, she let go, and then just her fingers were holding on. And then all of a sudden her hand dropped out. I'm like, wait a minute. Did you listen to me, honey? Here, I put my hand back up there. She grabbed hold of my hand. I held it up, you know. I'm like, okay, now, don't let go this time. Don't let go, honey. Don't let go. And she just kept holding my hand. I swear to God, for like 3 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm past that point where she let go last time. I'm like, okay, now let go, honey. And I swear to God, her fingers just let go. And she was just holding there and no grip, nothing. And then finally she fell out of my hand. And I'm like, oh my God, you are listening. You are, oh my goodness. She is just like, I don't know, it's like watching a baby learn to walk, you know, and you're so excited. She's doing things. She's, I don't know. I was almost in tears when she did that. Because the first time I thought, it's a fluke. But the second time, I held on longer. Now, if she'd have done the same thing and let go right after the first initial grab, I'd have thought that's nothing. But she held on until I said let go, and then she let go. And I was so proud. I was so happy. I was so excited. You know, now I got to come up with other ways to test her. You know, she's there. She's how do I say it? She's doing what I'm asking. She's there. We just got to figure out a way to communicate now. You know, so you know, I'm going to do the red green board. I've got the paint, I've got the stencils, and I got the boards ready. I just didn't think she was ready for it. So, you know, if I ask her a question and she looks at the red no or the green yes, you know, I can see the difference because I've got them about 2 foot apart. So I'm going to start using the yes no board on her and see if she can apply that because, oh my God, she is listening. Like when I change her, you know, she wants to clamp her legs closed. She wants to, and I'm like, honey, you're fighting me. I got to spread your knees down, you know, and I put my elbow against one knee and my hand in the other knee, and I can, you know, do the diaper thing. And she works with me now, you know, and then when I get done, I'm like, okay, honey, go ahead and stretch. She puts her legs down and stretches on command. And I'm like, she's just getting so much more and more in tune with listening and doing things and helping me as opposed to what was before, which was uncontrollable, you know? And I mean, I'm loving life, you know? I see her. I keep telling her all the time, you got to come back, honey. You got to talk. Your granddaughter comes by here and says, hi, Grandma, all the time. She's never met her in my eyes. She's never met her, you know? So I can't wait for that moment. And now we're going to have another grandkid. It's going to be our grandson, Josh Jr., JJ. You know, he's due next month. So, you know, when she went to sleep, let's call it that, she had no grandkids. When she wakes up, she's got 2 grandkids. It's going to be so amazing. I can't wait. Ryan Dunn says, finally, I can start drinking. Whoa, what took you so long? We've been waiting on you. So, all right. So, and let me see what else I can say. The newest nurse is definitely the number one nurse. She's done so much and she cares so much about Tracy. You know, so I mean, I'm loving that. Everything's going good. It's the other two nurses that called off, and you know, there's no backup other than me. And I just got done with Tuesday 16 hours and Wednesday 16 hours with hardly no sleep in between. And then the nurse calls off nighttime that night, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm screwed. So.
We missed that membership.
Tyler says, hell yeah, let go, Tracy. You got this, girl. Keep it up. And Rich, keep up the good fight. And Jerry, you're an amazing friend for sticking with him and Reaper. You're a good friend for sticking with me and dealing with all my bullshit? Is that what he's saying?
Not just you, but Reaper too.
Reaper too. His bullshit. That's funny.
It works both ways.
Well, we don't tell them the bullshit we have to put up with.
Did we miss some members? New members?
It looks like it. Let me click on it. There you go.
Oh, Jay and Barb, the fish keepers. Welcome to Oscar. Oscar level.
Welcome to Oscar level. What's all the ching chings? I don't know what that means.
No idea.
Monster Fish says Big Rich on the slot machine. Harley Gem says Alora and JJ, Josh Jr., of course. I can't wait for the newest Price family member. Neither can Josh. That's his baby boy now. Monster Fish says, shout from San Diego. Let's go Big Rich and Team Tracy. Shauna says, okay, I missed the Tracy update. Shauna, you're going to have to go back and re-listen to it. It's pretty good. Tyler says, that's not what I meant. I meant for helping and sticking around for all the stuff you guys go through. It's okay. Rob Taylor says cash register. Oh, that's when I get a notification that I sold something on eBay. I get that cha-ching. So I'm making money every time you hear that cash register. Oh my God. Whip's here. Says, hi, beautiful people. Let's get tanked. No, let's get fishy. Tanked is a different show, son.
What's the drinking order?
Oh, that's
I got here late.
yeah, you did. Mods. Because I had no mods here.
You had no mods?
No mods.
It usually looks like a wrench convention
Right.
up there on the board.
It was only Raheem was the only mod that was here. And I'm like, it's going to be mods tonight. And then, you know, Sue Ann came in and Deb Charge came in. So
Was that like putting out the call?
yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a farm operation around here. You do the work when it needs to be done.
Yeah.
I needed to be out there at the moment.
Tyler says, Rich selling dirty pictures of the OFR guys on eBay. I would not.
Not just the ducks and the koi.
Patrick Smith says, tell us about your race car. You never talk about it. I would love to hear the backstory. Greetings from the Netherlands. You're going to have to rewatch. Yeah, you're going to have to rewatch everything because I just had a whole 20-minute session about the car.
I was about a month ago.
No, earlier tonight before you got here.
Oh, no kidding.
We were talking about the car. We talked about the Harleys and the car.
Hit rewind, my friend. Does anybody even understand?
Crazy Cichlid says, what's your eBay username? I'd be interested in buying, knowing where the money is going. It's Big Rich 545. That's me on eBay. I've had probably, I think I got the paperwork for 15,000 sales. I know I got one for 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, and 1,000. They're all on my wall in there. I don't really do much selling on eBay now, other than when I need to, because it's hard for me to get to the store, the a post office or FedEx or UPS. It's hard for me. Tyler Kerr says we need to know if our OnlyFans. I don't think we'd make much money there.
No.
Raheem says eBay closed down in India some 10 years back. Really? Shit, I've made probably $1.5 million on eBay since then. I know in 1 year I sold $355,000. That's not what I had. That's what I sold things for. I had to buy all the stuff, so I probably made $100,000 off of that in 1 year. Uh-oh. Where is the way to make this lower or bigger? We're back to the same thing. I can't add Sean as moderator. I can click this, but then there's no, I can't get to the point where the letters are too big. I don't know where it went. Oh, Mark's here. What's up, Mark? Garcia Aquatics says, Tracy, we love you. If I'm not mistaken, Garcia Aquatics is where I got the two big Adonis plecos from. Is that right? Let me know if I'm right. We sold the biggest one and kept the littlest one. After the biggest one won us $500, we beat Rod out. And then we sold the biggest one and kept the little one, which is now the size of the biggest one. Oh, it jumped again. Okay, Shauna's back. Let me click on her again. Add as moderator. But see, now I don't have, I can click on standard or managing, but I can't say, okay, it's missing. And I can hit try and control and minus down. Where's that at? Here. And it don't make the
So over on the other end,
text.
try moving your moderator screen over.
No, I have to make it smaller or bigger here. I can't.
Up there. Like you could just move to the side and see if there's something.
Here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's try this again. Shauna's. Add as moderator. Standard. And boom. Shauna, you're a moderator. There you go. I've been trying to do that for a couple weeks.
Now you can zoom it back out.
I can zoom it back up. All right.
Put us back on the screen. You said you were talking in the background while you're showing Tracy. I'm sure nobody's
That's okay.
complaining, but
Where's it at? There we are. Aggressive Fish Lover says, Tyler Kerr, my wife and I was Me and I told her we had interacted here enough that I could tell you also I have a sense of humor and can take a joke. Okay. Look at Shauna with a wrench next to her name. Prince Vino says, I saw Reaper's vid with the upside down swimming sturgeon. Any other your collection of fish have unusual habits? I know archers spit water. Yeah. Are stingrays sting people? When you step on them?
Yeah, yes.
They stung Reaper. They
Ask
stabbed
Reaper,
him.
Yeah, ask Reaper about that one. No, that sturgeon is actually scumming the surface, eating the protein scum on the surface of the tank.
Okay.
There isn't much there for it.
Lorenz says, Big Rich, do you know the song Holy Diver? I'm not going to read the rest of it because I'm going to tell you, of course I know Holy Diver. It was sung by the Lord of Metal,
I saw
Dio.
that arm coming, man.
Dio sings Holy
Yeah,
Diver. And we used to
rodeos.
play it out when we played out. Dan, 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 you know? And you keep bringing up this Steve and the Seagulls, Steve and Seagulls.
Somebody's got to help for him.
But I have not heard their version of it. Sue Ann says, Shauna, you look good in blue. Jay and Bart says, Mod, here you go. Drink up, guys.
How many times did we say mod during that whole thing getting Shauna hooked up here?
I don't know.
We got 50 back up.
Vasquez family says, I went to see Cheap Trick. They were still good. Yes, there's a lot of bands that sound like their albums live. And like, Black Sabbath's one of them. Dio's definitely one of them. Ozzy, all these great bands. But there's a lot of bands that cannot play live the way they did in the studio. And Cheap Trick was definitely one of them. They are great. People underrated Cheap Trick. They are so talented. Oh, J-Rod retracted a message. I wonder why. Did you just give me a
I don't know.
Camel Dan says, hello, long time watcher, first time commenter. Well, welcome. You're more than welcome to always comment. We're here to hang out. That's all. I'm interested in what everyone has to say. Except for Raheem. He says, mods. Drink up, guys.
Robin the Naughty's the first one that checks in on the Friday night. I don't know what his time scale is over there, but
all right, now see, this is a message that starts a lot of trouble. Ozab says, hey, Rich, I'm so curious on your opinions on Father Fish. If you don't wish to say, it's cool. Well, see, he's got good ideas because he does what I do. I mean, if you look,
that came out weird.
I'm trying to
He does it
stay.
my way, so.
He does it my way, so it's cool. No. Okay. You go into any pet store and there's just filtration and you see the tanks. But some people have a lot of plants in their tanks. And there's plants everywhere and the tanks are doing great. The people with plants in their tanks don't have to do water changes as much as the people without plants in the tanks. So that is a given. That is a fact. Okay. He preaches the fact of you don't need no filtration. You don't need none of this. Well, this is true to a point. Like you go to these farmers' ponds and you get these big bucket mouth bass and you see the whole outside of the pond is covered in cattails and lilies and all these other, shrubs and vegetation. Well, that's what eats out the ammonia and the nitrates and turns it into nitrates. And the plants, actually, the other plants eat up the nitrates. So it's a self-serving entity. And to try and replace that in the home aquarium, you're going to need so many plants. Like 155-gallon tank is going to need probably, let's say 10 or 12 55-gallon tanks full of plants to maintain that one tank. So his theory isn't correct because he has plants in every one of his tanks, and every one of his tanks has fish in it. It can't be sustainable that way. You need an overabundance of plants to the amount of fish you have. So I can't get with him 100%, but what he says is right. You can lengthen times between water changes if you have a few plants, and you can actually, like we have that 800-gallon tub full of plants, and we have some tanks that we don't have to change water at all. We just do top offs on them and keep filling them up. But we also have pass through. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just it is what he says, but nature needs a much bigger scale than what he's leading you to believe, is what I'm saying. You're going to need so many more plants than there is fish tanks. You can't just fill a fish tank full of plants and have your fish tanks full of fish. It's not going to work. You need to overdo it with plants to be able to keep up with the amount of fish. And he don't preach that. He's preaching a certain thing, and people fall for it. So I'm with him 60%. I'm not saying he's a quack. I'm not saying anything like that, because he has good ideas, but they're the same ideas that I've had. I tell everybody, run as many plants as you can. It'll at least lengthen your time between water changes and give you an easier schedule. Instead of once a month, now you can get away with once every 3 months, and that's better. Like my 150 up front, we never do water changes on that.
Just top it off.
You've been here, what, 2 years?
No, we've changed the water once.
Once in 2 years.
About maybe.
And that was because we wanted to do a tank revamp and get rid of all that blackbeard algae.
Yeah.
And we took out everything. Okay. Other than that, we haven't needed to do a water change on that 150 in forever.
That was almost a complete shutdown and restart.
Right. But, there's a lot of plants on that, and all we do is top off. Every time it evaporates down, we fill it back up, and it's good to go. And we haven't had it because of plants. So if I didn't have plants in there, we'd have to do water changes, once a month? About?
Probably.
So,
That many fish in there.
He's onto something, but he's onto the same thing I've been preaching for years. I mean, I'm not Father Fish, but he's preaching the same thing I've been preaching forever.
It wouldn't hurt a bit to put more plants in.
Right. More plants, the better. Have live plants and have, pothos sticking in with the roots sticking down. You can also have like sweet potatoes. You just take a couple of toothpicks, stick in a sweet potato, and let it touch the water, and it'll hold up by the toothpicks, and then the roots will go and the flower will come up, and they're great for eating up the nitrates. So
what it boils down to is balancing the system.
right.
If you
In
want to
every
do 90% of the work, go for it. Then you can be the filter, you can be the everything. But you set up the system balanced, so the system is alive.
And that's the whole point. People tell me, oh, my neighbor has a 55 and he does a water change once every 2 weeks. So I'm going to do a water change every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just want to grab them by the neck and slap this shit out of them.
Well,
That's not how it works.
The one thing nobody can
hang on.
argue with. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Stepping over you.
The one thing that is different is you have a different amount of fish. You have different amount of filtration. You have a different kind of filtration. So nothing is the same as your neighbor's. The one and only way you can decide your schedule of water changes is by doing water tests.
Being observant.
When your nitrates reach up to, like, say 40, you want to do a 40% water change and bring them down to, like, 25. And then every time if that took you 2 weeks to get up to that high, then every 2 weeks you got to do a 40% water change. And then once in a while you may have to do more because it's building a little more every week. So I mean it's different for every tank and every person. You can't go by that. You
Yeah.
can't go by what people say on the internet. Your tank is different than my tank. You know, I may have it stacked full of fish, and you may have hardly no fish. And the amount of plants you have in there does great. You'll never have to do a water change, just top off. So it's testing, water testing. You find out what your nitrates are, and when they get up too high, bring them back down and keep testing until the second time it comes up. Now, if that took 2 weeks or a month, you know that once a month, that's your list. You have to change that much water every month, and you'll keep it until you buy new fish and you put more fish in there. Now you got to find out your schedule again. You know, it's so simple to me, but I'm trying so hard to make people understand. This is how you have to figure out your water change schedule. You can't go by somebody else's.
That's what I was going to say. There's as many different ways to maintain an aquarium as there is hands in the aquarium. Every one of them is different. Whatever it takes to balance it, to maintain the.
Okay, Fishy Page says, I accidentally commented about my opinion on Father Fish on your latest video, not realizing that video wasn't the one I was commenting on. Oops. That's okay. I replied to it and it's out there. It's fine. I have nothing against Father Fish, you know. It's just that his opinions are a little more eccentric. They're a little more out there than what is real life. You know what I'm saying? People need to do their
situations.
Right. Everybody's situation is different. People need to do their water testing to find out their own schedule. I don't know. I mean, he seems like a nice enough guy to me, but he's preaching too much that you don't need no filter. Well, yes, you do. Unless you have, 6 tanks full of plants and only 1 tank full of fish. You can't do it with 1 tank full of fish with 1 tank full of plants. There is not enough of the, what do you want to call it, equation. You got to have a way over amount of plants than you do fish, you know? Bait says, I'm glad we agreed. I must have had looked like a crazy person. No, not at all. I mean, his claims are a little out there, and they work for him. But if I caught him on camera, I'd have him tell you that he has to test his water, that he has to do water changes, and he's kind of fibbing to people. Because 1 tank full of plants is not going to maintain 1 tank full of fish, period. Simon Shear says, I don't test my Japanese koi pond. My koi tell me. Well, when you see fish dying off, it's time to do a water change, I guess.
General rule number 1, yes.
Mike agrees with me. Patrick says, well, you can do it his way, but only very lightly stocked. And again, everybody's stock is different. You know, when I was a kid, I wanted variety. I had a purple Sicilian worm in there. I had angels. I had gouramis. I had, what do you call them? Crayfish. I had a crab in there. And, these things don't get along. They don't. And I tried so hard when I was a little kid. I tried so hard to get all these different things to get along. And, I was overstocking the tank and all this and that. And, it wouldn't have worked for my tank because I needed way more plants than my tank would hold.
Just
but
filtration.
Everybody's tank's different. What everybody likes is different. One person may like solid discus. Another person may like discus in with piranha and see if they work. Oh, my piranha have been with my discus for 3 months now. Yeah, it's a matter of time, buddy. That's going to happen. They're going to kill him. You know what I'm saying?
He's going to find out they're at him.
Right. So, I mean, just because it works for you temporarily doesn't mean it's good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and also Ken Cummings comes up with a good idea. Plants and monster fish don't work so well together. This is true. monster fish, just one skip of their tail uproots like 10 plants. You know what I'm saying? So there's also that.
Well, there's certain plants don't care if they're in a blender, but they're a mess in the filtration.
Right. Garcia Aquatic says, I agree. We're rich. And also, I clean my canisters once a year and I top off my tanks at the water parameters as driving, and the fishes are happy. I've been doing this almost my whole life. See, now that works
Whatever
for you.
works.
But somebody, like say your neighbor might want to stock their tanks a lot more than you do, and it won't work for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a good set of parameters generally for a stable tank. The thing is, the whole system is living. You have to keep it balanced. The fish is just
Wait a
part
minute.
of the whole system.
Mary Oliver says, Whip, so the Cheap Tricks meet and greet jam session at your fish room, $10 cover charge to be donated to a cause, bring your own beer and bottle of vodka for Whip. I want to know where that's at. I want to show up for that.
It sounds like you have it in your fish room.
It's in my fish room? No way. Mike's right. Mike Kirkpatrick says even many cichlids won't put up with pothos. You need to won't get along with pothos. They pull the roots out, leading to the death of the plant. Well, this is where you have water coming out of your tank, going to the next tank, and the tank full of plants. Think father fish in this situation, and then it goes out of there and it goes to the overflow. So your fish are never in contact with your plants, but you'll never have that many plants cover this many fish. You know what I'm saying? You need 4, 5, 6 fish tanks full of plants to cover one tank full of fish. So his theory is off. It does work to a point, but it's not, solid. Loren says, I hear you're breeding koi. If you got a koi with a mullet, I want it.
Not yet, but we're working on it.
Well, we're bringing the shack koi with a big rich koi, and we'll see what happens.
It's the only thing I'm sure about out there is they're all koi. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a nice koi out there.
Skipper's Aquarium says, Mary, Whip's World had enough vodka for now.
All right.
Fish Capade says, I just wish I could get a straight answer out of Father Fish. It's worse than pulling teeth. I give
I
up.
will not give you a straight answer if my hands aren't in the aquarium. If I'm not active on the aquarium myself with my own observations and measurements,
That's not what he's talking. He's not talking about you.
give you a straight.
He's
No,
talking
I
about brother.
know.
Okay.
But I'm saying for me, and I wouldn't expect the same out of him. If he's not working on the aquarium himself, how can he say, he can give you his best guess with you give the information that you give him, but that's all he's got.
Well, we try and give you as many straight answers as possible, and please just listen to me because I ain't pulling no teeth. I ain't stretching no truth. I'm telling you exactly how it is. Mary Oliver says, Big Rich and Jerry, he knows them and they live nearby, so I think we owe Whip a surprise visit. Rich, bring your guitar. Sure, they'll let you jam. If I could jam with Cheap Trick, I would definitely do it. I'll learn like 5 of their songs before I get there just so I can jam with them, if that's a possibility. Hell yeah.
It sounds like she's talking about springing it on a whip. Not a band.
Mike Patrick says, no water changes, but I keep small fish in there. Yes, the smaller the fish you have, the less fish you have, the easier it is just to do top offs. I've got my 150 gallon full of, what do I have in there? I have angels. I have gouramis.
Yeah,
I have
geophagus.
geophagus. And what else? Anything else?
Yeah, there's a school of 7 Congo tetras.
Congo tetras. And you know what? In
Couple
that
of
150
miscellaneous,
gallon, them
4
plants are doing
bristlenose.
good enough to where all I have to do is top off the water. I never do a water change.
It's a good balanced colony
Right.
right now. Like I said, it could use a few more plants, but that's just my opinion. Right now, we don't have any plants to add to it. Without taking them from some other tanks. So it's whatever it takes to maintain a balanced system.
Ozab says, yeah, it's strange. He says if a fish dies, the fish wasn't right for his system. Like sacrificing a fish, basically. Wow. That's passing the buck, is what I say. If you can't keep a fish alive, that's your fault. You got him in the wrong environment.
Yeah.
Sue Ann says, I just had a woman try to sell me an Oscar, a Jack Dempsey, a common pleco, and 2 angelfish for $210 on Facebook. She had me going nuts in the PM for the last 15 minutes. Why are you even wasting your time? We get donated all that. I can give them to you.
No.
Garcia Aquatic says, Big Rich, would you ever go to Aquascape, New Jersey? I mean, yeah, no. New Jersey is a 9-hour drive for us. That's why I like to go into the Chicago one. It's only a 6-hour drive. And I don't go to the Florida one because I have to fly there, and it costs me too much money. Money I can give to the fish. Tyler Kerr says, you got to show that sweet guitar and your skills in one of the videos. I have been waiting for like 2.5 years to watch you play. Wow, okay. Blake Weber says, any recommendations for bite your tank mates? The ornate is over a foot long. In our bite your tank, which is a 1,000-gallon tank, we have a bunch of different biters. Ornate, Wixii, what other biters we have in there?
I'm not that on biters.
Okay, I forget. But anyways, there's like 10 biters in there, and then we have a big 30-inch fire eel. We have a 12-inch flagtail. We have what else is in there? Oh, an albino African lungfish, about 30 inches.
A 2-ear weenie catfish.
2 weenie catfish. They can go in with them. Do we
Clown knife.
We have a clown knife in there.
Clown knife.
What size is he?
Oh, that guy's good to be about 20 inches.
20-inch clown knife. I think that's about all that's in there.
Well, that's what's in that tank.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're seeing. What goes in with biters?
Depends. Yeah, what goes with biters. And anybody who's peaceful enough who's not going to irritate the biter. Anything that stays closer to the surface.
Mike Kirkpatrick says, you missed my post before. I have an entire wall and ceiling covered in pothos to pull off a filtration in a 40-gallon breeder. See, that's what I was saying. You know, Father Fish's geometry is wrong. You can't have plants in a tank that will hold that whole, tank. You're going to need way more plants than that tank can hold. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you agree with me. What's this about you knowing Cheap Trick? Let me in on this. And we reached the end. Mary Oliver says Skipper's Aquarium's about to get supper. Italian sausage, cheese, peppers, and onions. Well, that sounds like, an Italian sausage and, sandwich I have here. I love them.
That is a
They
good
got
sandwich.
the cooked onions and peppers, sauteed down and on top of a piece of Italian, on top of some mustard, on top of a bun. That's an Italian sausage. Holy shit, I love them. It's one of my favorite sandwiches.
That is a good sandwich. Been a while since we had one of them.
Well, Tyler Kerr says, how did Jerry get started with the rescue? And did you have a lot of fish as you got older or when you were a kid?
I got started with the rescue when Rich needed help, and I said I needed help.
He showed up at my door and surprised the shit out of me. Says, I'm living with you now, mister. I was like, what? He goes, we talked a few months ago about this. I'm like, I don't remember. He goes, yeah, I told you I was 72. I'm like, oh, I remember you. I can't talk right now. I'm in the middle of a live stream. I'm answering the door. I got to get back to the live stream. You know what? That was like 2 years ago, and he's never left since.
Over about 2.5 years.
Okay.
Whatever.
All I know is I was unexpecting that. And it blew my
I've
mind.
been around fish off and on almost all my life. I just never really been stable enough to have a big system of my own. And I learn something new around them all the time.
So I never saw the comment. Garcia Aquatics, are you the one that gave us or sold us the two plecos with them?
Oh, the Adonis?
Adonis plecos. Thank you.
I don't think
It was up in
Adonis
Chicago. Was that you?
There were some. We had two different Garcias mixed up with each other one time.
Oh, it could be the same thing again.
Yeah. I think that's anyway.
Oh my God, I love that taste. I was drinking grape. We call that grape crush.
The concentrated powder stuff.
And now, yeah, it's 0 calorie, 0 carb. It's one packet per drink. And this is melon.
Yeah.
And it's made by, you go to Walmart, you can get the off-name brand, Great Value. It's Great Value melon. And I swear to God, you smell this, and you smell a cantaloupe. You taste it, and it tastes like cantaloupe. And I love cantaloupe. It's so good, Jerry.
I'm glad you like it. Everybody's different. That's the only food that I really can't get myself to eat.
Okay,
Yes.
Tyler Kerr says, Jerry is like, you care to adopt a short old man? I'll help around here. And Jerry, you're living my dream job. I wish I could do what you do just for one day. You can come down here, Tyler, and do what he does. No problem. And Sue Ann goes, no, Rich, you confuse him with other people all the time. Berto has never met you. Okay. Well, Garcia Aquatics is the name of the guy, Sam Scales. It was Sam Scales' buddy, was Garcia Aquatics, and he came here with his daughter. So there's two Garcia Aquatics.
Yeah.
Mary Oliver says, Jerry's a smart man, and Rich, you're a good man and a kind man for putting the roof over his head and not sending him away in a time of Jerry need. And I've thought about it over the years.
It was.
I'm kidding.
Life works because the use is mutual, if nothing else.
Brian Morrow says, OFR adopts anything from goldfish to senior citizens. That's awesome.
He rescued a dogfish.
Sue Ann says, I met Garcia in New York. He's a great man. Well, I'm sure. I just, you know, I knew Garcia Aquatics as Sam Scales' buddy, and they were in Chicago together, and they were working out of a garage selling fish.
So do a
Man,
lot
it
of
tastes
people.
just like, dude, that tastes just like a cantaloupe. I love that.
I mean, you moved here from a garage, from a fish garage.
I did. I built a whole
I
garage
know.
just for my fish room,
Yeah.
and then I moved here and built a whole fish room, and then added onto it, and then turned my pool into a predator pond, and then surrounded it by tanks.
Not
And now I'm
everybody
ready.
has a 58,000 gallon
I'm ready to build on.
pool with a built-on fish room.
Are you yelling at me?
200,000 gallons worth. I'm yelling at you.
He says, yes, I'm yelling at you.
Of course, right now we got about 10,000 gallons we can't even access because it's not ready yet.
Raheem, I'll have to do that after the show. He says, send me a link of the grape crush and the watermelon. It's not watermelon, it's just melon packet, what you drink. Watermelon tastes like watermelon. Melon tastes like cantaloupe. So it's melon juice. I mean, it smells like a ripe cantaloupe. And I taste it, and it tastes like a cantaloupe. I love room temperature cantaloupe with some salt on it. Oh, man, if you guys don't eat salt on your watermelon or salt on your cantaloupe or salt on your honeydew melons, you're missing out. You people need to use salt on your cantaloupes.
There, finally, mods, everybody.
Mods, mods, mods. Here we go. Awesome. Awesome. Good job, Lorenz. He comes in the, you know, in the need of, you know, the thick of things. We needed that. Tyler Grimm says, why did my comment get blocked? It was even bad. I've never had that happen. I don't know.
Sorry, didn't see it get blocked.
I didn't see it get blocked. I can go back to it and maybe try and find it and see who blocked it and why. I'm still looking. It must have been way back. Oh, Vasquez family says, how's Mark and John doing? Actually, they're coming here tomorrow. We're doing a rescue of a 150-gallon bow front and all the supplies with it, a stand and a canopy. And the guy wants to see the tank here. So I can get rid of a smaller tank and put that bow front in place. Okay, Tyler, I don't see where you're.
Don't you have a side list where you can see where those blocked?
No, I don't. I just scroll back and it'll say,
Shit.
it'll be like blocked out. It won't be white. It'll be dark. And it'll say, you know, it's been deleted. See, I'm way up here now and I see nothing. All right, Tyler, I'm sorry, but I can't find it. It's way too far back.
Try it again, see if they do it again.
Okay.
Bob Taylor,
Yes.
thank you. Let us remember Mash's Let Us Sweat.
Oh, my good. You're talking about Hot Lips.
Yeah,
I used to love MASH. MASH was a great show. It was so, like, edgy and then also smart. You had to be smart to catch everything, you know? And Hot Lips was something else.
The whole show was something
It was great, wasn't it?
Great.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob Taylor. Appreciate that. Thank you for the memories.
Yeah.
Okay, why is it not letting me go to the rest of the things?
Oh, I think you're in the yeah.
There we go. Tyler says, it's okay. I just said, who loves grape soda? Me and Rich love grape soda. That was for the 90s kids from the Kenan and Kel. Sorry about the confusion. I feel bad for making you look. That's all right. Don't worry about it. Lorenz says, Loretta Swit Hot Lips went under radar. No, Loretta Swit or Hot Lips was with Frank. That idiot, that asshole.
Yeah,
I hated him.
I think that was a game on names.
Right.
I haven't hit the like button. Somebody, Big Weber, is talking about it. Somebody hit the has. Oh, somebody was saying haven't hit the like button. I haven't hit the like button.
Oh my God.
Where you going?
Trying to see that deleted comment now. I was
Oh,
halfway
sure.
done reading it. Oh, come on. It's this one right here. I want to read it. And I can't. Somebody deleted it for some reason. Ozab
The
says,
person retracted it.
oh, okay. Ozab says, I
That's
respect
not
you guys so
deleted, that's
many
retracted,
fish channels
yeah.
just sell out to support bad practices, which harms the hobby. Sometimes you can't blame them, but still, I get that. And we're not here, you know, you never see us stop, retake the situation. You know, let's, you know, retake that and let's replan it. We just video what goes on, you know, and that's it. And you guys get to see it as raw as possible. Tyler Curtis says Radar was my favorite. He was good. He kept everyone going. But Hawkeye and his buddy, what was his buddy's name? They were like so smart and, you know, edgy. It was Hawkeye and
Somebody else saying.
Hooligan.
No.
Yeah, it was something like that.
What's Houlihan?
No, that's Big Chuck and Houlihan from Saturday Night. It was Hooligan or something like that.
Somebody will tell us in just a minute.
Yeah. Trapper MD. Trapper MD. That was who it was.
Bob Taylor, thank you. My bad. Oh, there he goes. Now we're down to where he is. I slipped up. I'm reading ahead of him. Not supposed to do that.
Josh says, I'm out here going to be watching a movie with the kids. Thank you for the amazing live stream. Love you, Fishy Pam. And you made my night. Thank you, Rich Jerry. Here's to you. Have fun, guy. You know what? Enjoy your night with the kids. That's an amazing thing. You know, go have fun.
Mod.
Raheem says, Rich, when are you starting tours again? My uncle's in Chicago. Also, they want to visit OFR sometime in June or July. We'll be open by then. I mean, we're ready to start taking on tours now. So, yeah, go ahead.
You might get put to work.
We'll always put everyone to work. BJ. BJ was his buddy's name.
Yeah. But it was Hawkeye and Pierce.
No.
And then BJ, there was two of them. There was two different guys that were pals. One guy moved out and the other guy moved in.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's two different ones.
Honeycutt. BJ Honeycutt. That was it. Yes, that was his name. Hawkeye was Captain Pierce. Yes. Bobby Warren. And this is the message I think that got deleted and he stopped before. Long-time subscriber, first-time commenter. I'm in North Florida. I have 2.25 acre ponds. I want to rescue long-nosed gar, Florida gar, and spotted gar. You know what? You'll find them in the canals down in Florida. Yeah. For sure. We can't help you up here. It's too far to drive down there. But thank you.
I mean, you might help somebody out if they've got one in their pond and you want to move it to yours. But other than that, you know, there's no reason to rescue them. They're in the wild.
Okay, so it was Trapper John first, and then BJ Honeycutt second.
That sounds okay to me. I don't keep track of it that close. I know there was two of them.
All I know was Hot Lips was too hot to be with Frank because he was an asshole that narked on everybody and told on everybody. And I wanted to beat his ass. I didn't like him. Raheem says, Rich, how much do you charge for an over tour? Well, if it's like, okay, there's a couple different things.
Suggested donation.
You're right. If you come by here with a fish or something, you want to donate or you want to come and buy fish, you end up seeing the place free. But if you want to schedule a time where me or Joshy are there, it's $100, for an hour or 2 hour, tour. And then we talk to you the whole time and we do all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's different. I mean, if you just show up here when you're looking for fish and we can find fish a better home, it costs you nothing. But if you want a dedicated tour by me or Josh, then it's $100, and you can bring up to, I think it was, what do you say, 4 or 6 people for that $100.
Yeah, that's about right.
Something like that. Zach S. That's a damn snitch.
Josh is really hard to schedule with.
Yeah. Well, he works all day, every day. So he can be here at 4 o'clock at nighttime. And I can be here from 12 o'clock until 3 o'clock every day. Because that's when I lose my nerves at 3 and I wake up at noon.
Yeah.
So 12 to 3. So that's fine.
If they can't schedule them, you got to deal with me.
And he'll pay you $50 to have a tour with him.
Oh, shit. No, I do a lot of tours. I enjoy it.
Blake Weber says, I used to love watching MASH and Golden Girls with my mom. That was a good show, too. They were quick-witted, Marge was something.
Never watched it.
You never saw Golden Girls?
No, just never,
Really?
Never had a reason to turn it on and never was around.
It was a good show.
Yeah. No. Just don't ever remember seeing it.
I remember the time that Burt Reynolds came on the show. And he asked the one girl, he goes, Sophia, which one was the whore? And all 3 of them were like, I am.
Ask an honest question, get an honest answer.
Madge was the whore, she's the one that went out with everybody.
Yeah.
And the other 2, weren't. But they all 3 said, I am, when Burt Reynolds came to the door. Carnival Dances, I used to love watching Hogan's Heroes. Me too. I loved that show. That was so good. Blake Weber says, is the glass bought for the new tanks bought yet, or do you still need to acquire it? We have got the 4 pieces for the middle tank. The one end tank, we're still shopping around. We found it for as low as $1,800, but we have to go all the way down to Columbus to pick it up. So we're still trying to find something better than that, but not a problem.
Preferably delivered. Although wants to know how somebody gets it.
Ross Dingle says Jerry's tours will go longer if you get him talking. Don't get him talking. He
sounds
don't
like
stop.
He's been on a tour.
He's been on a tour before.
Orlando 78 was asking how does somebody get a tour?
Eric says Dorothy was a truck driver before the show and a Marine. That would be Maud. Okay. She was definitely, in charge. Camel Dan says, if I schedule a tour, can I swim in the monster pond? Absolutely. All you got to do is sign a waiver, and then you can swim in there. Anybody that pays the $100 and comes in for the tour can swim in the monster pond. That is your option.
Well,
you're paying for it.
Within reason.
Raheem says Jerry's a very talkative guy. That's an understatement.
High mileage.
But you're so talkative. I can be walking away from you going to the bathroom and you're still talking as I turn the corner. You're so talkative. That's what they're saying. Man, that tastes just like cantaloupe. That's amazing. Camel Dan says, if you guys had to guess, how many fish would you say you have? Wow.
And
Let's go with, and tell me if you disagree or agree, probably 800 in the cichlid tank.
just the
600?
Bellagio tank?
Yeah.
15, 14. Count them all
1,500? 1,400?
easily.
So I said 800, you said 14. Let's go in the middle with, like, say 1,200. Stop it. The group tank, the communities tank.
Oh man,
the
I don't
Bellagio.
play this game. I don't know.
102?
Oh, there's an easy 100.
Okay, so let's go with 150.
No, that's good. Yeah.
So now we're talking, 1,300. And then let's go with another 50 for the fish in the, what do you call that? The quarantine. So we're talking about 300 fish. We've got probably 30 in the 1,000 and let's go 30 in the 4,400. 10 in the thing. So 30, 60, 90. So we're talking 1,500. Probably 50 fish in the pool.
I lost track already.
Right. So we're talking 1,550, and then we got, I don't know, 130 in the cichlid tank. Okay. Or I'm sorry, the back pond. So we're talking 1,700, maybe 30 in the South American tank, 30 in the Frontosa tank, 60, so 1,800. Geez, I would have to guess around 2,500 fish.
Not counting the cichlids. You got 2,500 cichlids in that 5,800 gallon tank.
All right. Ozub says, it's my fantasy at this point to visit you guys. It's near impossible, just such a way from the UK, but I can dream. Of course. If you so choose to, accept this mission, you can come to Ohio Fish Rescue. This mission or this message will self-detonate in 5 seconds.
5, 4.
Gracie says, update on my nephew who fell 30 feet from the tree. He had surgery and got to come home and be out of work for 6 more months. We are going to hold a banquet to raise money to help him. Wow. Blake Weber says, Rich, what do you do for your hair? Jerry, what do you do for your beard? Do any fish go after either of you? The only thing I do for my hair is I use Pantene. I love the smell of Pantene conditioner. So I'll use any cheap shampoo, which right now is Suave for 99 cents a shampoo thing. I get it strawberry flavored and 99 cents a thing. But for my long hair, I do conditioner, which is I use Pantene. I love that stuff.
I wash them when I get dirty. Whatever it takes to wash it.
Cal Dan says, what is your absolute favorite fish about you? What's your favorite fish? Whether we have it or not. What's your favorite fish?
Right now, I'd like to have a blue black paradise fish.
Okay.
Not just a nice male and maybe a couple of females.
Me, if I was to add to what I have here,
Yeah,
it's a Wells catfish.
yeah.
I love them people eating fish, you know.
I know how it is. I know how they are. I can't house a Wells catfish.
We can put a saddle on them and you can ride them.
No, I was Googling and playing, and then I saw the most magnificent paradise fish I've ever seen. Like a blue and black pine cone.
Okay.
Beautiful. Crown tail.
Ooh.
Magnificent fish.
I think that any fish that you have, if you look at them long enough, you can find beauty in that fish,
Oh yeah.
and then watch them swim, and it just blows you away.
I
You
just
know.
the black paradise fish is the first fish I ever paid money for.
Mm.
I mean, I had access to any fish I wanted to in the fish stores. So, but the one place I saw one that was first fish I ever actually paid money for. It's just kind of neat. I saw that hybrid one that they worked on, man. That thing's they got some beauty in it.
Pink Green 65 says, "Where did Jared get his knowledge of fish?"
Mileage.
He says mileage.
Oh, it is. I've been traveling around, spending time with people.
No, he
working
hung
on
out
stuff.
at Father Fish's, the garbage disposal.
Oh, come on. Now,
I thought it'd be funny.
for real, I would like to sit down and have a good, just sit down conversation with him over a nice meal or something.
Well, I think that we could set him straight into what he's
Hey,
doing wrong.
remember setting him straight, man.
No, I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm saying we can set him straight with what the internet thinks he's doing and what we said tonight. There's a spot in between that we can both agree on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would be good for him.
For real, I don't think he cares any more than you would.
You don't get no shits.
Really.
Zip Zip says, "Good Lord, is that hair real?" Yes, sir. I was in the 2023 Guinness Book of World Records for the world's longest mullet for a man. And it's real. Except for 5 years ago, this was the color of my hair. It was all brown. This white stuff showed up in the last 5 years. And look, it's barely there. It's only in the front. It kills me. Kills me. I just love how he says, "Good Lord, is that hair real?" That's funny.
You've never been on the channel.
I guess not.
Definitely haven't seen the videos.
Blake Weber says, "What's the oldest fish at the rescue? What fish has been to rescue the longest? Also, who's the oldest human
Wow.
at the rescue?" The oldest human, right here. 107 years old. Now, how old are you? 99? Come on, Jerry. What's your age?
I'm sorry, man.
You used to hate them Punjabis. Now you're laughing at them.
You and your damn Punjabi.
How old?
I'm 74.
You're 74?
I'll be 75 this year.
Okay, he turned 75 this year. Now, that's the oldest fish at the rescue. Now, what's the oldest fish at the rescue? That would have to be Schwarzenegger. I got him 24 years ago, and he was 3 years old when I got him. He was about, 11 inches, and now he's a full 40 inches. And he's not a Peroon shark like people think. He is just an iridescent shark. but he's xanthic colored, and he's way past his, you know,
Oh,
timeline.
he's also a short body.
He's not a short body.
He's a short body, that's a short.
No, he's not. He's 40 inches long. That's the max as they get.
No.
They say they're only get to 36 inches. He's 40 inches,
No.
so he can't be considered a short body. So Ronaldo says, "How old are you, Rich?" I'm 61. So, anyways, we had Schwarzenegger here for 24 years. I got him. He's 3 years old. So he's 27, and I think 19 or 20 is his age limit, and he's way past that. So we look at that fish like an old man with a walker, you know, walking down the airport aisle. You know, trying to. I'm just saying.
It is really hard to tell because some of the fish that come in here, oh my goodness, it's an old fish.
Nate Achilles says, I thought the giant pleco was the oldest. No, he's only like 20, 23, something like that.
It takes 20, 30 years for some of those barbs to get that big. But they do get that big.
So it says, I think the OFR way works for them and the Father Fish way works for them. Enough said. Well, you know what? Here's the thing about the Father Fish way. I do believe he has hidden plants that he's not showing in each tank, because there's no way with them tanks as full as he has them, only has that many plants inside. I mean, it's impossible. You need to overdo your plants 10 to 1 to the fish, level. So he's got other plants back there that he's not telling you about that are connected to this tank. I can't say it no nicer way. I don't believe him on that aspect, but he does. He does show the right way, which I show everybody, is plants. Plants will make your life easier, So follow that. Just don't believe all the hype. That's all I'm saying. Raheem says, Rich, please dye your hair back to brown. Would you guys like to see me with this hair up here? Wait, I can't see. Hi. What's up, everybody? Ronaldo, how old are you again? 70 or 61? Yeah, I'm 61. This guy says, Shauna says, I've never heard of Fatherfish until someone called Jerry Fatherfish. I've never watched any of his videos. Yeah, he's not big and well known.
I haven't really watched any of his videos either, but from what I have watched, I wouldn't mind sitting down for a good conversation with him.
Oh, I'd like to set him straight. I would.
I'm not looking at it.
I'm like, you got a point, but I
like to watch. I just enjoy a good conversation.
Okay, Mary Oliver says Jerry Fish knowledge came from many day trips and talking with the fish guru, and heard Jerry actually believed fish talked to him on them trips. What the fuck? Was you smoking mushrooms back then? Peyote buttons, something?
She's got to be familiar with it, or she wouldn't be winking at me afterwards. I just understand the biosystem.
Yeah, Blake Weber says it's not don't believe the hype. It's more do research and test. That setup ecosystem is obtainable on paper.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. You have to do everything yourself. So, I don't know. I would love to, Sue Ann says, I'd love to be on the fly on the wall in the room with Father Fish and Jerry.
Basically, if you want the fish to live, put it in a living system. The system has to be alive. The fish has to be part of the system.
Bacteria is part of the system.
Everything's part of the system. Everything that goes in that tank, including your damn hand, becomes part of the system.
Was that you? You touched my toes? I thought a mouse was getting me or something. I said, ow.
That was an unexpected reaction.
I didn't know it was a cat. Was Skylar here with her cat? Something was getting my toes. That's all I knew.
You must have needed that adrenaline rush. Oops.
Camel Dan. You're not allowed to say his name here on this show. Listen to everybody else say the same thing. That is a name that shall never be spoke here on this show.
Where's all them damn mods, man?
Where's the mods?
Faster.
Raheem says, Camel Dan never speak his name. Deb Charge goes, Camel, I don't think anyone does at this point. Camel.
Ouch.
Shauna says, Camel, he's like the Voldemort here at OFR.
Hey. Say it one more time, maybe it'll materialize.
Camel Dan says, why did he do you dirty? I don't know why he did it
that's
dirty.
Nasty.
No, I don't know why he did it. But yeah, you can't trust that man. Period. He'll do everybody dirty. He's just horrible. Blake Weber says, you get Jerry and Father Fish together, you ain't getting a debate. It's a nap session.
That's horrible.
You two get together, start talking, and you both fall asleep.
And he said, no hate intended. No. Make me face reality.
Deb Chart says, we got you, Rich. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I got you.
Mm.
Another receipt after this.
Camel Dan says, thanks. I will not watch him anymore. Well, you know, you can. We're not trying to stop you. I'm just saying I will never talk to him again. He came out and pretended to be the biggest friend OFR ever had. And then he turned on us and did some dirty stuff. And I couldn't believe it. So we won't even talk about him no more.
We made an agreement. We don't diss him. He don't diss us. We just ignore each other. Basically.
Colin Churchill says, I'm drinking some Spotted Cow, a nice Wisconsin beer. Have you heard of that before?
No, not particularly.
You're from Wisconsin.
But I didn't drink.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
It's been 43 years, man.
So they had no Spotted Cow around when you drank?
No. I've had some good craft beer in my time. Some good homemade beer and some...
Harley Jem says, mod pass.
Yeah. Yeah, mod pass. Here we go.
Kyle Hines says, what up, old bar? What's up, Kyle? Raheem says, I've already stopped watching his videos. I'm not trying to get you guys to stop watching his videos. He has good points. He's just not honest about. He says, do it my way and it'll work for you. But it won't, because you need 5 or 6 tanks full of plants to do what he's claiming will do in one tank full of plants. Unless you have no fish in that tank, a couple, then it'll work. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I don't know. Reem says, I have already stopped watching his videos. Nate says, Spotted Cow is overrated, but New Glarious does make good beers. Okay, haven't heard of any of that.
The New Glarious, probably.
Blake Weber says, ching, Rich just made some money. New Glarious Company makes Spotted Cow solid beer to me. Well, okay. Raheem says, mods, mods, mods. Drink up, guys. Mary Oliver says, only a Budweiser beer girl here. Camel Dan says, vanilla crown. Okay. Gracie says, no beer here, only hard stuff.
Whatever.
JGH says, hello, I've been trying to reach out to you guys on Facebook about rehoming my 4-foot black tip shark. I'm located in Kansas, so not sure you're able to help with that.
Oh, no.
Well,
Sorry,
you know what? No. It's not that we're not able to help. We are a long way away, but we know many people. Let me call people close to you and see if we can get, him relocated to a public aquarium by you. So I'm not going to forget that. Okay. If you can, go on to Facebook and look up OFR and then send me a message so that I have your message request and I can answer you back. I'm going to reach out to some people and try and find that black tip a home. Okay.
Just need some background information.
Well, we need to know where he's located,
Yeah,
where it can be picked up,
where it is.
and then, because that's a big state. Kansas is huge.
It's a big truck.
Camel Dan says, road trip for Reaper.
Oh,
He
yeah.
ain't going
right.
to Kansas. Well, you've never answered me about this whole cheap trick thing. Do you know them? Were these people lying? Come on now. Let me know.
Ah,
Sue Hands goes, Lorenz, I don't even like the smell of beer. It smells like nasty feet. Wow. Mm. All right, guys. Make sure you send me that info on Ohio Fish Rescue so that I can get back to you. We're going to try and help you out with that. We're going to be out of here now. It's 8:03, so we're done for the night. I appreciate you guys. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs, and thanks for hanging out with us. Until next time.
Have fun on me.
Okay. Till next time, stay fishy, my friends.
Stay fishy.
Let me go to this end the stream. How do you like the third screen down there?
I can't even see it. Didn't realize it was
But
on.
it's there.